spider in the bathroom thinks he'll take a wife, and he thinks to himself, what a wonderful life, though I don't have much. I've got 8 legs and space to use them, and they'll never take that much from me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inside the Scene, a project of the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. Over the course of the next half hour, we encourage you to make yourself a drink from the comfort of your home as we take a dive into the lives and work of some of Pittsburgh's leading local musicians. Now, live from his home in Millville, Pennsylvania, your host, Aaron Rodden.
Thank you for joining me on Inside the Scene. My name is Aaron Rodden. I'm the programming manager for multiple projects produced by the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, including the Wednesday Wine Flight series, Craft Beer School, and the live music weekends at the Backstage Bar. This show is part performance and part interview, featuring a different musical artist each week. At the top of the show, you heard a song by my musical guest this week, Anna Hale, who performs as Swampwalk, a solo electronic artist who surrounds herself with synthesizers, including a modified Gameboy and layered vocal effects, putting a new spin on the understanding of what it means to be a singer-songwriter. Live from the internet, here's another song by Swampwalk.
I know I look cute, but I don't want to talk to you. I've already got more friends than I can care for. And therefore, although I look cute, no, I don't want to talk to you. I've already got more friends than I can care for. And therefore, walking down the street trying not to smile, which is quite a shame, 'cause it's nice to do once in a while. But you're swimming in a lake full of crocodiles, waiting to test your spine. But I won't keep my eyes to the ground. This is my street too, and it's my right too, and I don't wanna miss all the things above the cracks in the pavement. So though I look cute, no, I don't wanna talk to you. I've already got more friends than I can care for. And therefore, although I look cute, I sure don't want to talk to you. I've already got more friends than I can care for. And therefore, I know that we're radiating positive heat. The body of a woman, yeah, it's sure something neat. But maybe read a book or watch some better TV. There's so much more to life than calling girls on the street.
And we're back. Joined with me today is Anna Hale, otherwise known as Swampwalk. Thanks for that, Anna. That song gets stuck in my head all the time. So you performed at the Backstage Bar back at the end of February, and I have been looking forward to presenting your work again in some capacity. So while the capacity that we are in right now is not ideal, we do the best with what we can, and I'm just really glad that you're here.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Are you hearing this double echo situation?
I am not.
I'm getting like everything I say it's like a delay.
Okay. Am I delayed as well?
Yeah, you're delayed as well. It repeats everything.
Okay.
Did my last song come through okay?
Yeah, it sounded great. It sounded really great.
That's hilarious. I might be able to do it as is, but I thought I would mention it because it's kind of disorienting.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
Well, good to know. So this is a happy hour show, and it wouldn't be a happy hour show without happy hour drinks. So I'd like to bring on screen my coworker and friend, Graham Fondry. Graham is the venue manager of the Greer Cabaret and the Backstage Bar. So how are things, Graham?
There you go. You can hear me now, can't you?
That's right.
Oh, good. Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man.
Hey, it's really good to see you. It's always enjoyable to get together with you to make a drink or two, and you know what I'm talking about because we're brothers in making that beer and wine right there. Aaron and I have a lot of conversations about it. Hello, everybody. Look, I'm glad you tuned in today. This is a fantastic show, of course. I'm going to make you a drink that I really, really enjoy from where I'm from, which is Miami. The drink actually is from Brazil, but we drink it a lot in Miami as well because it's really refreshing. It's called a caipirinha. Caipirinha is a 3-ingredient drink. It was actually made out in the fields where they'd be picking the sugar cane. So we take 1 lime here that you have. You're going to cut that up into 4 segments. You have 2 tablespoons of sugar right here. Okay, as you see, that's going to take off some of the edge of the lime. We have our lime. You're going to have 2 ounces of cachaça or white rum. Cachaça is a type of white rum they make in Brazil that comes straight out of the still. Very good, made from the sugarcane juice that's fermented. You're going to need a cup of ice, of course, about a full cup here. You're going to need a shaker as well, so you could shake it up. And then something to muddle. I'm using the end of a spoon because Alton Brown says you have to have tools that you can use for more than one thing. So I'm going to use this to muddle up the lime. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our limes here, going to squeeze them right into the shaker, squeeze the heck out of them, then dump them into the shaker. All right. I want you all to start salivating because this is good stuff. All right. Throw that one in there. It's making Miss Miami right now. I need some conch fritters or something along with this. You squeeze it in. There you go. One last one. Squeeze it in as well. By the way, before I cut up the lime, I took it and I pushed it on the countertop while rolling it. That breaks up the inside, makes it easier to get the juice out. Then we're going to macerate this really at the bottom, okay? The key to this drink is you have to get the oil out of the lime skins, okay? Out of the peel there. So that's why you really have to really squish it down here inside of your cup. Mix it up well. Then I'm going to add the sugar right here. Dump it all in. If you want to get sweeter, get it sweeter. If you want a little more tang in it, add a little less sugar. That's not a problem as well. Okay, I'm going to squish that all together, macerate that up. It's looking really good to me. There we go. Now, rum. You could just go straight for the rum if you like, but I'm going to go ahead and dump it in here. Add your ice. Now, we're going to shake this for a good 30 seconds, okay? Because you want to make sure that you get the sugar dissolved. If you use simple syrup, you can shake it a little less time, all right? Here we go. I think that's a bossa nova beat I'm doing right now. Bossa nova. There we go. Okay, open that up. Dump the whole thing into your glass. And now listen, you can go right at it just like that. Or you can get a little fancy, add a little bit of a garnish there. And right now you have a beautiful caipirinha. All we need now is a beautiful pool or beach and a little bit of sunshine to go along with it. Cheers, Pittsburgh.
Cheers, Graham. And if we were to make that a mocktail, what would you do?
That's a good point. Mocktail, in this case, because the lime skin adds so much tang to it, a little bit of that bitterness that you want. All you have to do is omit the rum. Instead, add a couple ounces of seltzer water right before you shake it. Shake it up. When you pour it into the glass, top it off with some more seltzer water, and then you have a fantastic drink. You could also add a couple dashes of Angostura bitters to it for a little elevated flavor.
Oh, that's great. And I'll point out that so I don't have a shaker at home, but when I made this, I back to your Elton Brown comment. I just use mason jars, pickle jars, whatever I can get my hands on that has a lid, and you can just shake, and it works really well. And if you don't have a shaker, so. If you have a leftover pickle jar, run it through the dishwasher twice, maybe 3 times, and then you go ahead and use it.
Listen, that works really well too. You could use it with the pickle too and get some flavor. One thing about these drinks, if you want to use a little sparkling water, the flavored waters everyone is using right now, the La Croix and whatnot, you could add any of those to this drink and kind of change the flavor profile a little bit. So that's another thing you could add to it.
All right. So it looks like Anna's back.
Hello.
It's great to have you back.
There's not 2 of me. Can you believe I performed a whole song while it was repeating back to me?
That sounds fun. It's like singing in a stadium or
really
something.
Disorienting.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Anna, by the way, I wanted to say it's great to see you here and to hear you again, because I've heard you at the backstage bar at the Greer Cabaret downtown, and you were really, really fantastic. I just stopped working and listened to you. Sorry for anyone at my from my office that heard that. Sorry, I had to stop it.
Graham was amazing. Set up the lights, helped with the sound. Wonderful. A+ all around.
Thanks, Graham.
All right. So Anna, let's just jump right back into this. I have a couple questions for you now that we're together. Obviously, we're not in the same room. We've been living under a shelter-in-place order due to the COVID-19 global pandemic for what I believe is 9 weeks now. And I'm just curious, as a solo artist, do you find the solitude of the quarantine, do you find that it's helped or hindered your writing at all?
Sorry, I'm like doing all the doodaddery over here. I think it's helped in a way. I mean, we have a lot more time to ourselves. I mean, there's definitely, I felt like moments of pressure of feeling like, oh, I have all this time. I should be producing. But once I got over that kind of feeling, I just kind of let myself practice when I want to, write when I want to. And I've written a few things since quarantine, but I'd say it's helped. Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, there's a positive side to everything if you look hard enough. So I'm also curious, I mean, has this quarantine or even just COVID at all, has it influenced any of your writing in addition to giving you more time to write?
I think, like I said, I released a track a while back on a comp that was called Quarantine Dreamin', and it kind of was like a moody, like, ooh, this is like trying to capture the vibe of quarantine kind of deal. But other than that, I'm usually just writing about smashing the patriarchy, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I love it. So looking at your setup, it just kind of makes me wonder how you got started playing. I can't imagine that your first instrument was a Gameboy sequencer. So I'm curious, what was your first instrument?
My first instrument was actually the violin. Yeah, I remember like seeing they brought like a group in, a small orchestra in to play it in my elementary school, and I was like, that's amazing. I want to do that. Yeah, I really liked it. I loved the way the bows looked when it moves. I still do.
Do you still play?
I do still play. I'm working on getting my electric violin tuned up. but I'm working on some tracks with a friend currently, so I guess I still play. It's been a
All right.
while. I've been in hibernation with a violin for a while, but I've
Yeah.
been getting back in the saddle.
All right. Well, speaking of getting back in the saddle, how about we jump into another song?
Okay, I'm gonna play my quarantine-inspired ditty that I wrote.
All right.
You may have seen it on Instagram or any of the sites, but it's about washing your hands.
Excellent.
Sorry, I had to press lots of buttons to get where I'm going. With a little bit of soap and some H2O, I am washing my hands, I am washing my hands, I am doing my part, performing the sacred art that is washing my hands, I am washing my hands.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a quick song. It's meant to be like 20 seconds long so that you can wash your hands to it. So the lyrics are on Instagram if anyone wants to practice.
Well, it's a very practicable song. I mean, I think you're doing God's work right now, releasing songs like that. So you recently joined Walker Records after having been on Unread Records and Tapes for years. Could you talk a little bit about what those small labels do to advocate for the artists they represent?
I would probably be a lot worse off without Unread Records. Shout out to Chris. He saw me playing in a kitchen on like a pie day or something. I remember there being pie, but he was like, I want to put out your tape. And I was like dragging my feet as many artists do to release my first album. And he was like, we're going to do it and we're going to put it on tape. So he kind of encouraged me to finish my release really and then put it out on tape for me, which is something that as an artist I'm so grateful for, is to have help with like some of the more back end stuff of getting your work out.
So speaking of tapes, I'm just curious. I mean, the revival of people buying vinyl records en masse happened, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. It seems like when the wave started. And tapes quickly followed, but maybe not with the same, I don't know, veracity, if that's the right word, if that is a word. So I'm just curious to get your take on what's the upside of tapes?
I think tapes are fun. They have like the tactile feeling, kind of, not as much as like holding a record in your hand does, but it still has that kind of tactile feel to it. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of CDs, which is kind of like the between those two things. You get better quality, obviously, but there's just something about a tape that's just like so fun to hold.
Yeah.
And some people have nice tape player setups. I mean, Unread is notoriously lo-fi, so if you listen to a Swampwalk tape, it's going to come through pretty lo-fi. But that's kind of the aesthetic.
Cool. So how about, I don't know, do you want to jump into another song?
Yeah, sure. My first song was about catcalling, and this song I always jokingly say is about what happens when you catcall someone too many times. Lying in the mud, all she sees is the trees up above, slowly raising up her head, wiggling her fingers, sifting through the fog, pondering the prologue. The first step feels like a kilo, so she raises it again, can't stop searching for her friends, and with each step larger, nodding to the farmers, not trying to be a martyr. time to lose. The sweat is seeping through all the threads of the fabric of the universe. Grabs a weapon cause she's sure she's gonna need one. Learns to manipulate the particles of space in which they exist. Still there's people throwing fits. Can't get caught in the pressure, so she fights demons for the sport of it. Gaining muscle mass, walking through the broken glass, kicking evil ass. It was you who was asking for it. No time to lose. The sweat is seeping through all the threads of the fabric of the universe. Take me to your leader, she said. I won't stop until I've had his head dripping blood through my clutches. How's that for justice? Bet you didn't think we would make it this far, but here we are. She pulls her sword from its sheath. He is grinning through his teeth. She smiles back, says so glad that we could finally meet. She charges forward and the battle ensues. I am swearing to you ladies, you can match the strength of any dude. Now he's trembling on his knees, whimpering for mercy. She slices off his head, says, hope your sons will learn from me. No time to lose. The sweat is seeping through all the threads of the fabric of the universe.
I love that song. I love that you have this incredible talent to take very serious topics and make them funny, and it's great. I love it. So I have one more question for you, and that is, towards the end of 2019, I heard a collaboration track that you did. It was a Harry Potter inspired hip hop track with the local MC Reason and the producer Glowface. And then it got me thinking, do you see yourself exploring more hip hop projects in the future?
For sure. Swampwalk is secretly into hip hop for sure. I have another track called Look Up with the local artist Momonade on, and we have another track that we're currently have in the works about a certain lovable or hateable creature that you might encounter around Pittsburgh. That's all I'll say.
Okay. All right. Great. I can't wait to hear it. So I think we have time for one more song. So have at it.
Okay. Let me switch back to space voice. Space voice.
If you see me over here doing this, it's because I'm scrolling through my Gameboy screen. It's one of the downfalls of using a Game Boy. It's like tuning your guitar, except it's scrolling through screens. Anyways.
And for the uninitiated, what's happening with the Game Boy? I know like a lot of people might just look at that and be very confused.
Yeah. So sorry about the space voice.
We like the space voice.
It's also a ghost voice. Long story short, it's a 4-channel sequencer. You can plug in notes. It's 16 steps
per phrase. So you can just go in and write, and you can make loops, and then you can trigger those loops live, which is what you'll see me frantically doing in this next song.
All right, take it away.
All right, cool. Dug myself out of the graveyard. Didn't realize I was dying. Climbed atop the highest tree. Looked as far as I could see. Said this time it's gonna be about me. Drafted all of it on paper. Drew the lines up logically. Maybe this time I'll remember to watch out for ticks and trolls and thieves. Ticks and trolls and thieves. But then I realized you can't plan for the feelings that unfailingly rise. So I cried on for miles, wondering why all my efforts run dry. 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 Patience, my child, one step at a time. Collapse in the arms of your friends. This is not the end. Look what you've done, you've made it this far. Don't turn back, but if you do, I'll come back for you. I'll come back for you. Pull myself up by the bootstraps, confirm the thickness of my skin. Trading water out for gin, silence in the might have been. Said this time I'm gonna win. This time I'm gonna win. Became an accidental villain, residing in a darkened steam. Fortifying my defenses, redirecting all my senses to confirm my quarantine. Confirm my quarantine. But then I realized you can't plan for the feelings that unfailingly rise. So I cried on for miles, wondering why all my efforts run dry. 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 Patience, my child, one step at a time. Collapse in the arms of your friends. This is not the end. Look what you've done, you've made it this far. Don't turn back, but if you do, I'll come back for you. I know it hurts, I know it stings, I understand, I'll hold your hand. I know it's hard, I know you're scarred, it comes in waves, I think you're brave. Patience, my child, one step at a time. Collapse in the arms of your friends. This is not the end. Look what you've done, you've made it this far. Don't turn back, but if you do, I'll come back for you. I'll come back for you.
Anna, thank you so much. It was a huge pleasure to have you on the show today, and I really look forward to seeing you perform again out in the real world.
Awesome.
This was
Thank you so much.
This was a treat.
You're awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, Graham, how's it going? So if you want to hear about these drinks, Graham, you're the man with all the information.
Well, listen here. As I unmute myself, because I have to be muted most of the time, Aaron, and I think you know that about me. Listen, everyone, it's been great to have you here, and I hope you really enjoyed the drink we made today, the cocktail, and of course, the corresponding mocktail. If you want to know more about what's going on with the drinks for each and every show, make sure you go to trustarts.org/happy hour. There you can sign up for the drink of the day, for our happy hour drink of the day, I should say. You'll send it to you'll give your email, and they'll send it to your email the day before, so the Tuesday before our Wednesday broadcast. So make sure you sign up again at trustarts.org/happy hour. You see it right there at the bottom of your screen. And we're always going to feature a mocktail as well. So we'll have beer, wine, a cocktail, mocktail. It'll all be included. So make sure you come by and check us out and see what we're sipping on and see what we're listening to.
Thanks, Graham. All right, so for all of you at home wondering how you can continue to support the arts from your couch during quarantine, we have made it easy. So if you would like to support Swampwalk, our musical guest from today, you can check out her Bandcamp page at swampwalkin.bandcamp.com and purchase one of the 13 offerings that she has available. My personal favorite is her newest release, Kids Like Me, and her 2014 single, Cats, which was the catcalling song at the beginning of the show. You can also support programs like this by making a donation directly to the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust at trustarts.org/donate. This has been the first episode of Inside the Scene. Join me again next Wednesday at 5 p.m. for a show featuring the local jazz and folk artist Avi Diamond. Thank you all again so much for joining me, and thank you to the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust for producing this series. Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, and have a great evening.